We're here at Winter NAMM 2016 on the Teenage Engineering booth again with Jonas, who's going to give us an advanced preview of a little grey box that does some very strange things. So Jonas, what is this?
So this is the OPZ. It's our latest synthesizer, currently under development. Still at very, very early stages, so this is our first prototype of it. Okay. Just finished about a week ago. So what it is, if you know the OP1, it got about the same sound engine built on that, but refined and kind of some stuff removed, some stuff added. But this is much more based around sequencing. Mm-hmm. So it's a 16-step sequencer with 16 dedicated tracks, similar to the ones on our pocket operators. Mm-hmm. We tried to do a really advanced sequencer in here, so we add a lot of crazy sequencing features to it to break it out of this 16-step sequencing box. Sorry.
So like what? What did you do?
Well, you can. First of all, you can change the length of an individual track, so it runs at a different length compared to the other tracks. That will cause it to start offsetting towards the other tracks, creating new permutations as you go along. On top of that, you can add something we call components to each step. So you can tell each step to, for instance, repeat that step any number of times. Right. And for each repetition, you could add a ramp to it, so it ramps up and changes the pitch. You can add some random to it, some glide to it, just a number of things to make your sequencing a bit of a more organic experience, really.
Okay, great. So what other functions have you got in there that are special to this?
So apart from the sequencing part, I should mention also that you can sequence your effects as well. So if you add a delay to a number of tracks, you can sequence the amount of delay and the filters and stuff over these 16 steps as well. But on top of that, we do have a connection, wireless connection to a handheld device or to a big screen TV. So even though this doesn't have an interface on its own, apart from the LEDs, you can get a very clear interface of what's going on inside the machine on your screen.
And that, what kind of connection is that?
We're just saying wireless at this point. We don't want to disclose that.
Okay. And so it doesn't have the keyboard. It doesn't have the screen. The screen is transmitted. So let's have a little go on it. Let's see what it sounds like.
Sure. I should say that it does have a keyboard. These buttons represent the piano keyboard.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
This is a 16-step sequencer. It has 16 dedicated tracks. The bottom 8 are 4 drum tracks, and then bass, lead, arpeggio, chord, 4 sequenceable effect tracks, and then 4 more tracks for controlling external systems. So what you do is you start with your kick. You can start whatever you want, but kick is usually good. Find one you like through the keyboard. Punch that in, like so. You got that going. You can add a bit of snare. Hi-hat. The fourth one is sampler, so it's more sound effect based. Add a bit of bass. I can change the length of a pattern, a track, like so. So this one will just run 5 steps now. I can add a component to one of the steps. Like so. So now the first step will repeat 4 times. I can add another component to it to have it ramp up every time it hits it. Or if I want to do random, I can do that. Add some glide to it. I can also make a track longer. So now this track runs at 1/4 the speed. So that allows you to make longer chains outside of the original 16 steps. So I usually use that for chords. So I can do a bit of... So you can have something that runs much longer than 16 steps just within one pattern. We do have a number of, like you can have 16 different patterns and chain them any way you want as well on top of this. But we think it's really nice that you can just within one pattern get all of this variation and depth. You can add delay to which tracks you want, so I can select to add some delay to the hi-hat and the kick. Turn that up a little bit. I can record these parameters, and these are unique for each track. So for each track you can record it by pressing record, turning the knob a bit. You can see the LED shifting as it moves along the sequence. I could do that for the hi-hat as well. This one affects the pitch on the hi-hat. So that's a little sneak peek of what you can do with the instrumental stuff. But this does not only sequence audio, but you can also sequence external systems. So one of those is video. So what's running here is the main interface, so you can see a little bit better what's going on inside the machine. You can see the kick track running, you can see how it changes when you tweak your parameters. You can get an overview shot of all your tracks running. You can get a mixer view, where you can solo out certain tracks. And you can also see the step components I mentioned earlier when you add those. Let's see, this one has a number of different on them, so I can remove that. You can add spark to it, that makes it only use the components every, in this case, 4th time. So apart from this interface, we also have a series of graphical packs. So this is actually 3D graphics running on the device that you connected to, and it reacts to the music. You can see the lamp blinking to the kick. The guy is dancing to the tempo of the music. I can switch cameras. And all of this I can sequence as well. So I can sequence the camera changes, for instance. And what that allows you is essentially to create the music video to the music you created. We've got a few different packs at this point. So another one is a more vectorized pack that we've been working with a guy called Kajiro Takahashi. He's been helping us out. He's used to doing this stuff before, and we're really happy that he wanted to work with us on this. So on this one I can sequence, for instance, color changes. I can add some effects to it. I can turn on and off certain elements of the screen. So this one you might want to use more while you're creating music to inspire you because everything in here reacts to the different tracks. So the kick might affect one thing, the arpeggio track might affect another thing, and so on. So it's really satisfying just playing your music to this graphics. The last thing I want to show you is we also have some other external systems that you can control. And as you can see, I don't know if it's in frame, but we got a doll standing here. So we can actually sequence that doll as well using the keyboard. So now I got a doll dancing to the music as well. So it's really all within this little machine. You can not only sequence music but video as well as other external stuff. So we're really excited about this and think it's gonna be taking your synthesizing experience to the next level.
So Jonas, that sounds pretty cool. Looks interesting.
Yeah.
Any idea how much it's going to cost and when it's going to be available?
That's two more things that we don't want to discuss at this point. So it's still early days and we're not ready to commit to any of those two things at this point.
Okay. Well, thanks for showing us.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.